Alan's told me. He's chief sprite. There's a lot of us sprites, he said, spread over Lancashire. Air sprites, water sprites, marlicking like mad. You are now listening to this record. It's a very special record. I'll tell you the story behind it after I've introduced myself, or myself according to Alan. Everything I know's told to me by Alan. And Alan said I were one at sprites at there, a boggart, a skriker, but airborne, and without a body, no substance, only a voice, a ceaseless voice. But whatever I am, there must be more than one of me. Though I can't see anyone, and I can't see Alan. There's just a faint ginger shape occasionally. That must be Alan, I presume. A carrot-coloured contouring darkness, hot dark redness. It's more of a deep red gloom everywhere, all around me. And all I know about myself is from what Alan's told me. He's chief sprite. There's a lot of us sprites, he said, spread over Lancashire. Air sprites, water sprites, marlicking like mad. Doing work at the evil one. Satan, that is. We've been here for centuries, and I've been all over. Until recently, I were inside a pair of Puma trainers hanging on a telephone wire over a bus stop on 3666 near Darwin. Alan told me this. I were hanging over at land, my voice merging with bleeding, busy, undulating buzz on the telephone wire above me. I were damned to carry on whining inside shoes. Haunted trainers, that's what Alan told me. Positively possessing pendulous Puma pumps I were, and I told myself stories to keep me going. I were never silent. I would have liked to be silent, but I couldn't be silent. So I told stories Alan had told me. I don't know any others. To keep me going as I were hanging there in those rotten old trainers. Stinking to high heaven they were! Though I couldn't smell them. Suffering Jesus, they would have stunk if I could have smelled them. And it were a great view I had up there, apparently. Or it would have been if I could have seen it. A view over Pendle Hill in Lancashire. Chosen place is Pendle, and rest at Lancs. Part of northern England that's touched by evil. It's all over the shop, so Alan informed me. Lancashire were always thought of to be one of the dark corners of land. A superstitious place. Witches and popery. But they're not stupid, Lancastrians. It's not that. They're just used to weirdness. And they still believe in Satan. Dark Lord. They don't support him, but they believe in him. And no wonder. He's chosen to base his business operations in their land. Their rose-red land. Dear God, it all makes sense once I think about it. Devil's branded and marketing strategy involves associating himself with colour red, colour of magic, and Lancashire is Red Rose County. Red rose that were garlanded around gardens of Babylon, and one at big football teams in Lancs, who play in red, even call themselves Red Devils. And if it's numbers they want, their 666 highway runs right through county up to Pendle, so they can't get more obvious than that. If they want satanic associations, satanic with a capital S, and what's more, there was something else. The valleys around Pendle, yes, where a few local witches were caught a few years ago. That's where old plan were kicked off. Some other witches got together for a bit of revenge and merry mischief. They were known for merriment, Lancs witches, and they put a spell on small-scale weaving industry in those valleys. And their spell meant small industry gradually transformed into great satanic cotton mills at the Industrial Revolution. That at fearful fiery furnace of the industrial world all grew out of those Lancashire valleys, triggered by work at witches, working for the devil himself, Dark One himself, capital D, capital O, Devil were a weaver as well, you know. It's all down to him, fended world through global warming and ecological catastrophe caused by mass consumption and industrial expansion. It's all part of his plan, his extreme ex-certificate exercise, disaster movie stuff, brewed up in some cauldrons in Pendle. That's why Mercs and Angles, first thinkers of global capitalism, that's why they were in Manchester a while back. They needed to be at beating heart at the bubonic barbarous beast to predict how it would evolve, how paroxysm would come, how beast would be defeated by its own contradictions. It's a nice thought, can't say it myself. It's not part of the plan anyway. That's what Alan tells me. Plan about scrapped, Dark Lord, capital D, capital L, for world domination through global industrial capitalism. It all started off with those cotton-weaving wily witches in Lancashire. Then mills arrived, which got bigger and bigger. Mills needed cheaper and cheaper cotton. So the African slave trade were built up through Lancashire port of Liverpool by Liverpool merchants to provide cheap labour to pick cotton in America. That were all Satan's idea, and cotton mill workers in Lancashire themselves were practically chained to their large looming looms. Small children worked in hell on earth, with deafening noise and sweltering heat. And believe it or not, at one point mill workers showed support for Lincoln's American Civil War forces, trying to abolish slave trade in the US, forces that were blockading its South. Even though their blockade had led to a shortage of cotton, the cotton Lancashire workers had to dream and were claiming for years. It were terrible for them, but mill workers still supported blockade, an example of selfless solidarity as slaves were slaves. Lancashire workers were fighting back, trying to foil Devil's plan, and slavery were abolished in cotton fields of America. A setback for certain, but wage slavery carried on in Lancashire mills. Then later, in 20th century, workers were brought over from Asian subcontinent until they too were thrown out of work, and they were stuck there in mill towns, hassled by the BNP, far-right party whose leader stood for election in Lancashire. Where else? All part of the plan, keeping Kitchener County dark with a capital D. And Alan told me all this when he were emerging out at Red Mist, or a shape loomed I should say. There were no emerging, if only they were emerging, but there's only ever looming redness and gingerness, looming redness and gingerness. To tell you about this record, weren't I? Well, I am doing, sort of, so stick with me. It'll all become clear. What were I going to say? There's another looming shape, that were it, as well as Alan. Another striky whine. The voice must be a mate of Alan's. They both must be part of the Sprite committee that's responsible for me. Or they could be the same person, as t'other one is Ginger as well. Anyway, Alan said that t'other one were his assistant, so they must be two folks after all. He told me that Mick Bucknell is t'other one's name, and a pop group called Impy Red. There's Colour Red again. I did have a look at it. There's Colour Red again. He hung out with Red Devil footballers a lot. And Mick's musical group were really famous, Alan said. Satan can sort that out no problem. Chart success, alt rest. Music world is under Big S's thumb. Always has been. Selling souls, devil's music and all that jazz. And Mick once tried to work with reggae producer Lee Scratch Berry. He asked Lee to produce one of his records because Jamaican dub music is a threat to dark forces. Capital D and F. Alan told me this as well. There's something about dippy-duppy drops in deep dub mixes. Moments when all instruments drop out into an abyss of silence, with snare shots echoing across the void. These moments suck up evil like a black hole, and dubby bass, deep diddy dub bass absorbs and slows down evil energy. So Mick wanted to discover the secret at dub, to learn how it conquers darkness. He even started a record label putting out dub records so he could tame and then destroy dub. But Lee suspected something. He wouldn't get involved with mad mawking, masticating Mitra and Mick up to his rigs. He knew, alt dub folk know, about Lancashire as art of Babylon. That's how Jamaican dub music found its way back to Lancashire, because music that came out of Caribbean slavery tried to undermine beast from within. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. It makes sense. Dub is apparently righteous music, so dub got into Red County and invaded fairwaves. A Radio Lancashire programme called Up on Wire started to play dub music. It tried to turn terrible tide, and programmes started broadcasting in 1980s from a studio a few miles away from Pendle Hill. It got dub on there. It tried to drown out sprites like me, drowning out diabolical voices at Lancashire Air, and Lee Berry appeared live on the programme. He stayed in Clitheroe near Pendle while he was there. He supported Thetford, and because of all this, the Great Sprites panic happened, and all sprites started wasting away. Evil slipped out of them. I needed to take refuge in Thangin trainers. I were losing ability to sprite, but Alan heard at dub track. He had to stop it, so he went on radio. Sprites do that a lot. It's easy. We're a bit like radio waves. Voices off there, that's all we are. So he went on radio, as Alan says it. He started a late night phoning show on Red Blues Radio, and he was cramped and crawled. He savagely abused anyone who went onto the programme. Fair and clarty with fraps and wild raving. So is madness at world. He spat bilious bloody black bile of Satan out onto fairways, trying to reclaim Lancashire air from darkness. I could hear it barking at sounds of hell themselves, hit back round as he broke off at handbrakes. And in Revelations 13, all of this is prophesied. A ginger man will blacken and reclaim there over at Red Land with evil words, it says, or words to that general effect. If any man have an ear, let him hear, I say. And in Revelations 13, if you put together the sixth word from the start of the verse, what do you get? Lancashire Lancashire Radio Rap.
Line 8 we have. Well, it seems you haven't the intellect to argue your point. Perhaps it's because you've got a bum brain. How do, Peter? Well is your defence? You haven't one. Goodbye. How do... Who? Ah, go and play on the railway, you garmless little crap. How do, Paul?
I was going to tell you about this record, weren't I? I'm coming to that. And anyway, Alan often played a song on his show called Helter Skelter by a pop group from Liverpool as often as he could, a record famous for hidden messages that only Keswick himself could interpret. And he also played that other Lancashire group, Fallen, who were named after Lucifer and his mates who descended from heaven into abyss. But both these groups were only half dark, so to speak. Fallen were half evil, as a result of the botched possession attempt by Nick Wilson himself. Nick music and being magic, and used to effectively take Fallen for years. He really tried to influence Fallen towards dark night, but he only had to. And from then on, all Fallen's records contained a bit of darkness. Their gigs and records were big, bilious, leading battles between darkness and light, like Lancashire itself. And some writing on one at Fallen's single cover summed up conflict of forces. It contained this picture of pleading prophecy. I urge Finder at this master tape never to unleash it on humanity. Already the evil deity Rhino is clawing at my brain. If it is unleashed, the fall is here, ectoplasm exercised, and humanity can either eat that grenade or face the second dark age. Meaning next one after the industrial age, I presume, when Satan has his very vicious and victorious victory. The only way out is to blow the head off. I guess that's what it all means. Singer, marquee, the E is the evil bit, obviously. Embodied dark light dichotomy within himself. A useless hexen priest, reliving witch trials. He could practice many half-dark arts. Always looked a bit jeweled and could croon like an angel. That last bit's not true. But there were another thing to do with Bibles and his con. Well, anyway, there were one time, yes, Fallen accidentally supported Christian Irish at D3. Yes, that right. Its original support band dropped out. And he was replaced by Marky Marky Marky. And D3 fans, you know Red Mist. And they see one chanted Satanists at Fallen. And threw Bibles at band. They threw big black Bibles at them. And what's more, Fallen once wrote a song in celebration at radio shows of Alan Keswick. And Alan were very taken with this. He told me so. He told me all of this. I'm just repeating what he said. And he said the song were a B-side called Lucifer over Lancashire. Wanted to stop. But I was down to carry on. I've said this before, and anyhow, he wanted me to go to a press's plant and take a cold possession of a red-coloured vinyl record. He said I would be able to leave my pumps behind and live in disc. It had to be vinyl. I can't possess CDs. Not enough texture on them or something. And outmoded technological forms have more scope for subversion, Alan said. The revolutionary possibilities are discarded and overlooked, as Harry put it. And I would live in shiny red grooves, if I could call it living, though I had to agree it would be better than trainers. I couldn't deny that. And it would be a dub record, playing dub folk at their own game, in their own lair. My revolting red ranting record would be broadcast on the punk wire program itself. It would destroy dub from within. It would finally defeat dub challenge to Satan's plan. The great plan cooked up in big black bubbling cauldrons of Satan's own tempting, and old Lucifer will reign over Lancashire once more. His agents, Alan and Mick by his side, ready for the day of victory. And now it's too late for thee, because this is the record. Thou'll be listening to it now. Thou only has to listen. That's all it takes to be damned. I cannot escape now. As damned is thee, well and truly. But I can't keep this up. Thou were damned already, if truth be told. And I don't believe what Alan's told me. There's nothing to do with this record, or me, or Alan, or Satan. It would be better for thee, wouldn't it, if all the pointy bearded fork-tailed red blokes, or old crones, or DJs, or ginger singers, if darkness only came from them. It would be so easy. But it isn't. You know that, don't you? I'm sorry about all this. It's where things go. I'm not doing my job, am I? I think I've failed my mission. I'm just glad to get out of those trainers. After all those years, and get onto a record. A big red vinyl spinning record.
With a big red shiny cover.
I bet that would have done just the same as me, if that were in my shoes.
Such as
baby's coming up, where a needle slips across shiny red vinyl and lifts up.
And there's silence. Silence for thee. But not silence for me. If only it was silence for me. I'm still whining on in grooves, don't forget. Still damned to carry on. Inside these grooves. Inside your head. At least I'm not inside trainers. At least it's not that. But I still have to carry on. That's the thing. Carry on ranting away forever. Think of that. Think of what that word forever means. Alan said it were a very long time. Sniffing rounds, I feel it's time to rest.